YTBC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. And guys, in this video, let me give a quick shout out to the distinguishable Dream Chasing Boxing. I know some of y'all trolls hate when I call these guys like these majestical names because we're kings. We're kings in this YTBC, and I got to treat my brothers like they're kings. Or, you know, when I say the Talented Ticket TV. Oh, man, the Talented Ticket TV. I know y'all don't like that. Ticket, I know you laughing, though. Go ahead, man. Keep laughing. Or, you know, when I say the wise, intelligent, prophetic 78 Sports TV. I know that one making some of y'all saying, damn it, coach. But anyway, let's get to this video. In this video, y'all, I'm not going to make fun of Dan Rafael's weight. I'm not going to talk anything about his weight. I'm not going to say anything derogatory towards Dan Rafael physically. I'm just going to talk about Dan Rafael, the person. Dan Rafael has changed, y'all. I don't really know if you guys really notice or recognize he's changed, y'all. The man has changed tremendously over the years. Back in 05 and probably early 2000, Dan Rafael was straight fire. Because I always watched Sports Center, man, and I always watched Dan Rafael on TV. Man, Dan Rafael was fire. And I'm talking about Dan Rafael was giving it to everybody. He was giving it to everybody. He put enough to go around. I mean, he criticized De La Hoya, man. He criticized Mayweather. I mean, he criticized Pacquiao. Dan Rafael criticized Pacquiao back early on, okay? He would do it. But he would do it to everybody. And now, you know, this new model of ESPN, y'all, it's almost like, man, Dan Rafael is handcuffed. I mean, really listen to him come out and say certain things, man. Now, I think what he was saying about Broner, I really think that he really kind of believed that Broner is a diva. And I think he believed that. But the stuff now that he's saying about Khan and the stuff he said about Floyd Mayweather, it's almost like Dan Rafael, you kind of got this feeling he really didn't want to say it. He really didn't want to say it, but it's kind of like he had the notion like, okay, well, I'm going to say this and get it out the way. Like, that's how I felt when I was listening to him talk about, you know, Mayweather, and when I was hearing him talk about this Amir Khan versus Canelo fight. And I think Dan Rafael was kind of, man, he was just like, okay, I'm going to just talk about it and give big ups to Khan, and then I'm going to get off. Like, really and truly, man, because the Dan Rafael in the old, he criticized Mayweather for fighting Canelo. He didn't criticize him, but he said that Floyd should go and easily school. He should easily school Canelo. I mean, this won't even be a tough, like, Dan Rafael had already picked Floyd to almost like just win the fight. At first, he was kind of going back and forth, but at the end, he was like, nah, I'm going to pick Floyd Mayweather to win the fight. And he said why. He just said Floyd is just on a whole nother level. He said everything, you know. When Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez, Dan Rafael kind of had a different tune. He was like, well, this is what we expected, okay? I mean, no more, no less. And that was his attitude. It was another masterful. And he gave Floyd Mayweather a lot of praise. And he kind of praised him, but then he kind of like dissed him in the same token. He praised him and he said, yeah, you know, Floyd is a great boxer, but we expected this. This kid Canelo wasn't ready for it, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Now, at first, before Floyd was going to fight Canelo, Dan was like, yep, Floyd needs to fight this guy. He need to do this, he need to do that. But Floyd beat him, and he's like, okay, well, yeah, Floyd Mayweather had a masterful performance, but this kid Canelo was green. Call him a kid, by the way. And, you know, it's kind of like, that kind of started the Dan Rafael motion of just a narrative. So, back in 05, man, the guy was fired. I mean, dude gave it to everybody out there. But I think ESPN, I don't think it's really Dan Rafael as much. I think it's just ESPN, the channel. I think it's them. They're putting handcuffs on these guys. They're giving these guys a narrative, and they're telling these guys to stick with the narrative. Have you guys ever noticed how black and white First Take is? And you notice, well, for some of the time, Stephen A. Smith, before, you know, all this new stuff hit down, Stephen A. Smith used to be fired. And he would stand up, man. Stephen A. Smith was probably unbiased back then. I mean, he stood up for a lot of black athletes, and he stood up for a lot of white athletes. He stood up. But I think ESPN, they got this narrative that, you know what, whites and blacks will get into the race war, but Asians and Latinos won't get into it. Like, seriously, I think ESPN, they figured this out. I think they know this. I think they genuinely know that. So they kind of script these guys to play off of that, to play off whites and blacks. Because they know that Asians and Latinos, they ain't gonna really go for it too much, man. They not, because they know that Asians and Latinos, they stick together. They stick together no matter what. So the race war with them, you know, they don't really, they get into it, but they're not as crazy as whites and blacks. White people and black people, when it comes to race wars, y'all gotta admit, we crazy as hell. I mean, and I'm talking about whether you agree with me or not, whites and blacks on this race thing, we are some crazy ass people. And we're all doing the same thing. We're talking about our own race. And it's, some of it, okay, I understand. But ESPN know this. So what do? They tell their top guys, okay, Skip, okay, Steven, stupid, okay, Dan Rafael, listen, this is what I need y'all to do. And this is what y'all gonna do. And if you go outside of this, I'm gonna suspend you. We're gonna demote you or do whatever. And see, Skip Bayless making about 2.5 mil. Stephen A. Smith making about $3 million a year. Dan Rafael making over $1 million, about 1.5 a year. So these guys, they got these astronomical salaries, man. And these guys, they want to retire with those astronomical salaries. They want to retire. They want to retire with that intact. And they get about 67% of that when they retire. So, think about it. For the rest of your life, you get that 67% of your 3.5 or 1.5 million. You live on that forever. You don't want to get fired. You don't want to stop your pension. So what do these guys do? Of course, they're going to concede to it. And they play right along into it. This is something that ESPN scripted, y'all. I don't think this is something that Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith and Dan Rafael, I don't really think that they're coming up with this narrative. I think ESPN completely is giving them this narrative, and they're running with it. They're running with the narrative, and they're going to stick with it. And that's just the way that is. Because I can't explain how Dan Rafael, used to be straight fire. And now, man, it's almost like, man, guys like Mayweather, he can't get Mayweather, can't catch a break. Broner, he always, trying to diss Broner. He'll diss Canelo from time to time. He'll diss Laura. He'll diss certain fighters when back in the past, Dan Rafael used to give it to everybody. And that's what I can't get now. Stephen A. Smith, he used to speak up for certain fighters, man. Really and truly, Stephen A. Smith didn't talk much boxing back in the day, but he gave it to everybody. He would stick up for a lot of blacks, back in his past he would. But he would also stick up for some whites, and he would stick up. It's just Stephen A. Smith, early on, he cut it down the middle. Skip Bayless always been biased. Okay, I'm just saying he always been biased. That's always been his narrative. He's always been that way, and for as long as I know, he's been that way. So see, it wasn't really hard, but they had to shut Skip Bayless up too. Listen, you and Stephen, no way, shape, and form. If you come out against Ronda Rousey and say anything, then you know what? Then you guys are gonna get demoted. I'm probably sure they put them in a room and told them that. Or they told Dan Rafael, listen, you stick to the script. If you don't do this, Dan Rafael, we're gonna demote you or we're gonna fire you. And these guys don't want to get fired, man. They're making 7 figures a year. They don't want to get fired. For what? Why get fired? So they're gonna do what they're told. It's a narrative that ESPN, and now he goes to my other, speculation. Okay? I think that at ESPN, I think that they have a department that specialized on YouTube. I think that they have a department that they watch YouTube. They go into the YTBC and they watch YouTube. And I'm going to tell y'all something. When Mayweather-Pacquiao were fighting, and I can't remember if it was Dante, Ego, or 78. It was one of the 3 mega channels. And I tell you guys right now, one of those channels, they did a breakdown video on Mayweather-Pacquiao. And I want to say it was Ego. They did a breakdown video, very, very detailed breakdown video. And I'm going to tell you what, man, the guy that used to be on WWE, Todd Gresham, him and Jonathan Coachman were doing a special on ESPN Sports Center. And I promise you, y'all, Todd Gresham said some of the exact same points that Ego did. In fact, Ego video was first. And then they came out a couple of days later, man, talking about, the strengths and weaknesses of Mayweather. And Todd Gresham, man, that ain't no boxing guy. That ain't no boxing guy. Now, if it came from Teddy Atlas, I would have been like, okay, that's cool. And you might have to go look it up, man. It's somewhere, man. But I'm sitting here thinking, nah, man, Todd Gresham ain't no boxing guy. And then, when Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Stupid talked about it, they brought up some of the same points. But these were detailed points that I know that Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, they don't know stuff about. They don't know stuff about, man, like, slipping a punch. They don't know, rotating the hip, man, rotating the hip through the hook. They don't know certain things, man, but they were very technical. And I'm like, wait a minute, nah. And it sounded like things that Ego was talking about on this video. And so now I really believe that they do have a department. And I think they know the race war that's been going on in the YTBC. And so I think that they're playing off the narrative. I think they're completely playing off the narrative, and they're doing a good job because they got us all talking. Now think about it, because isn't that ironic, man, that Stephen A. Smith and them, he was talking about technical stuff, and I've been watching them for years, First Take, and I've never heard Stephen A. Smith talk about anything very, very technical. But for some reason now, all of a sudden, now he's a technical analyst. No, it don't make sense. I know how it do make sense. ESPN got these guys in handcuffs, and these guys are pretty much, they're sticking to the narrative, and that's just the way that is. They got to stick to the narrative, and they don't stick to the narrative, they're going to get fired. You guys tell me what you think about this. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done.